Right guys, welcome back. This is it, the start of the 2-week series devoted to the Isle of Man TT. Proudly supported by the guys at RST Leathers. They're making all this possible. Really excited to get into this one and show you guys all the behind the scenes stuff that we're going to be doing the next 2 weeks. You can see in the background here the world famous Isle of Man TT tower, and first things first, we're going to do a full roundup of what's about to happen, all the riders, teams and everything. Let's jump straight into that with James Whitham.
He's been here.
Oh, I know, he's always bloody hiding now.
Well, it's easy, aye, look at him. See in a bit.
He's smaller than my daughter.
Whoa!
Of course he is. He's got feelings, though.
Yeah.
See in a bit.
TT25 is now ready to start. We are going to give you our expert
opinion.
James's expert opinion.
Not that we're opinionated, us two.
On who's here, who's not here, who's changed team, and all the inside gossip. So we're going to have a quick walk through the pits and give you the lowdown.
Yep.
Let's go. So first of all, we're going to go through some of the riders. Yeah. So we're not naming for top people or any particular order, but first of all, we have to say Craig Neve is not here for Rutter's team.
Yep. Also, Jamie Coward from his Super Twin crash at the Northwest.
Yeah. Mr. Kringle is not here from a supermoto crash.
I think, yeah,
Jamie?
Ryan.
Yeah,
Ryan's not here.
Yeah.
Also, Pierre-Yves Bien. He's not here.
Yeah.
From, I think that was Northwest as well.
Yeah, that was also a Northwest Supersport crash. So, yeah, there's some top people, but then they have also been replaced by other.
They've had the bikes poached as well. They've had mostly.
Yeah, that happens nowadays, and
yeah.
It's probably hard for people outside of this to understand. Yeah, how that happens. But so going straight into that, firstly, Mike Brown has jumped on Jamie Coward's BMW.
Big bike, yeah, but I think it's on the same smaller bikes, isn't it?
Yeah, he's staying on the same Supersport bike. I think that's a good shout.
I
think he'll be a good. He'll commit straight away. He's one of them riders that doesn't need a lot of time to push, so that'll go straight away. And I think the team is quite knowledgeable. They build a good bike. They've done a good job with Jamie for a number of years, so that's an interesting one. I think is going to unfold this week. Yeah,
I think 130 plus now, man. I think he did 2 130 plus laps. It took a while coming. He was really frustrated all week last week. It came in the senior, I think.
He put a little bit too much pressure on
himself.
He
did, he did actually.
So then we're looking at Craig Neve's bike. He has been replaced by the other Kringle brother, that's Jamie that is here. So that's a good ride for him, another Manxman on a top bike. Yeah. Then we're looking at who else is not been replaced.
I mean, some of the main ones would be James Hillier.
Yeah.
That was going to be an OMG bike. It kind of still is, but it's now muck off.
Nobody really knows.
I know.
Nobody really knows. I would love to be able to tell you.
I'm looking at you for help there.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to tell you what happened. So it was never an OMG bike, but it was owned by OMG.
Yeah.
Which was a weird situation.
And it still is.
WTF. So that man has stepped back, but give James all the bikes.
Yeah.
Just watch that hose.
There you go.
Fall. That man has stepped back but give James all the bikes. So James is running the same bikes apart from Supersport, which he's gone back to his old Colchester Kawasaki team.
Yeah, that's it. He's on Kawasaki again.
Yeah. I honestly think this is the coolest looking colour scheme. The muck off.
Just superb.
Retro.
But I tell you, muck off do a really good job. Everything they've ever done, it has looked perfect and so different.
Yeah.
Really good.
It's like a 90s Supercross retro design. So
it's like nothing. Yeah. It's like nothing has been. It's just brilliant.
Really, really cool. So happy to see James. He looks settled. He's got the same mechanics, staff, which is a really good thing. Going back to Colchester, he's happy on that Supersport bike. Yeah. That's a good thing. His teammate was obviously Dom Herbertson. Yeah. So he is now gone to...
He's now gone, he set his own team up, which is HRRC, Herbertson Road Racing Company.
Well, there you go.
But he is actually on the same bike as he would have been as well.
So that team has also given him his Fireblades?
Correct.
So that's good.
As I understand it, yeah.
Yeah, and the Ducati he was riding anyway.
He's riding, he was riding Ducati, yeah.
Right, so that's who's changed, who hasn't. Have we missed anyone out, Jake?
Probably, yeah.
The other one that's changed team, obviously, is Josh Brooks, but he rode the Jackson's bike at the Northwest. He had a bad time, though, at the Northwest. And I spoke to him a little bit.
I couldn't understand that. Because he had a crack at TT last year.
Yeah, and he's had an unbelievable
start to BSB.
Yeah, he's going really well, first podium. So I spoke to him a little bit. Josh is really, really intelligent. as in
and intense.
Yeah, well, take that as
that's a compliment.
But I think his knowledge, he will never push unless it's right. So
the reason he won't push, there's other riders who won't push unless everything's perfect, but he's down to the fact that it's a risk thing with him.
Yeah.
He understands how the bike works and what risk he's putting himself under, and he's super intelligent. He's so into it. He understands every part of it.
Yeah.
I think he'd have been disappointed with his Northwest, but I think good shout, Jackson.
I think he was frustrated more than disappointed. Yeah. But I think they have a direction and they know what they want to do.
Yeah.
And so right, that's the changes and stuff. Are we going to talk a little bit about Northwest?
Northwest
controversy, or
we got to talk about it, yeah.
So what is your take on the penalty then? I know, like, I don't want to keep going on about this, but
no, and we don't. And actually, there's a lot of people at the TT looking forward to there being something of a little bit of rivalry / needle.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I agree with that, because this place, one of the lovely things about the TT is that you can, all you lads and me time, you look after each other. There's a fair risk to it.
I think though, the big thing, when you've got a bit of needle on a short circuit, you want to dive bomb someone, and you can't do that here. Do you know what I mean? And you're never normally in the position to do that. I know
that's true.
You can catch people and pass people, which is sometimes adds a bit of intensity, but I think there's just that much pressure anyway. The lads don't need hyping up. This is just for the fans and for us.
Correct. Yeah, I don't think they'll see it that way. I think, well, the actual incident, let's call it, there has to be a penalty for running straight on at the chicanes, because there has to be.
Yeah, rules are rules.
Yeah, and that is, you've got to stop and put your foot down. Now, let's get this right. They both slowed down. Michael's on the pavement, so was Peter. Peter jumped off the pavement. Michael went down along the pavement at the same pace as Peter were on the road. Yeah. Peter didn't actually stop. He just put his foot down at, I don't know, let's say 15 miles an hour, and then got going again. For me, the fairest thing would have been to give them both the 10 seconds. Yeah. However, they both lost positions and time in the incident. Yeah. And Michael's fight back, come back, call it what you want, was spectacular.
So for me, in the winner's enclosure, being around all that and seeing it, I think the biggest thing to take out of that was the raw speed. Like, if I was still racing now, I would have looked at that and went, we've got no chance.
Wow.
The speed was amazing. So I think outside of all that, that was the main factor.
Takeaway.
And what we want to go into next now, realistically, is does anyone else have a chance in the next 2 weeks at the TT?
Yeah, because it's the TT. Well, and I mean, there's been a lot of talk about, since the Northwest, can Michael win 8 races? And I mean, that just, you need to be...
People don't understand the look involved.
Like the stars lining up forever. It's just, this place is, I mean, last year, the visor thing, who would have thought, but that happened. Yeah. It happens here. This place kind of brings all that drama out, so that's going to take some doing. Is he going to be the man to beat in most races? Yeah, I'd say he is.
Yeah. It's rare, I think, nowadays that someone's so good in every class. So he wins Super Twin races, he dominates Super Sport races.
But genuinely quick in them all.
Genuinely, not by luck, merit, or anything. So that is the bit, and this year, I think seeing how competitive he was at the Northwest is frightening.
Do you know what gets me? This is a man, going back 20 years, this idea that to do well at the TT, Northwest, Ulster, etc., you've got to do short circuits, because you've got to be on the ball, you've got to be riding your bike, you've got to be competitive.
He's the only one that
doesn't
do
any of that.
How is that possible?
It wouldn't be for most people. It really wouldn't be for most people.
Everybody else that's in this paddock right now, including me when I was here,
ride short circuits,
tries to run the Fun and British Championship. Yeah. He has got no interest whatsoever in doing that, or needs to do that.
Do you know, I was told years ago by John McGuinness, who tested with him a lot one year when they were both for Honda and they'd done some endurance racing together. He says, mate, if he'd have actually put his mind into it and wanted to do short circuits, he could have been really good, in John's opinion, who knows his stuff, he's been around a long time. But how he goes about his racing now is something of a kind of mystery. I mean, we always talked about Bruce that way. How did he, know, but it's certainly. Can you imagine how fast the world would be going by if you hadn't done some short circuit racing like Michael when you head down there? It's unreal.
And even the fact of, like, I gauge everything off like a lap time on a short circuit to then come here and you think of the risk. So if you're not, I'm not saying he's not capable of doing it there, but when he does go there, he's not. So is he willing to risk here and not there, or what makes?
He doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look like
yeah,
it.
he looks well
He
within.
looks proper, and he looks like he's at home with the bike. He's not wrestling it anywhere. He's not, the person who was wrestling it at Northwest was Dino.
Oh, big time. So going into this week now, we're going to get into who's top and who's going to be fast. But if the weather is as iffy as it's looking, who would you say that benefits the most as well? Because obviously Pete and Davey have had literally no time on the MBMs. Davey's been very vocal of the situation he's in. He's already spoke about riding just a super stock bike and not a super bike. So there's a lot of factors there.
Right. So I would say for the 18 team, so Davey and for Hickey, yes, they got the bikes late. Yes, they've done a lot of work, and they've done a brilliant job. Yeah. Really, really good job. They had a really good Northwest, no matter all the kind of shenanigans. However, Michael's had no time on that. He's done less than them. Yeah. So it's if the bike...
But then Pete was very quick to say that Michael is on a full factory bike.
Yeah, full factory bike, full factory.
But is that mind games?
Of course it is. That's the whole lot, isn't it? That is full factory electronics. I think that Davey and Hickey have elected to go with the Motec.
Yeah.
Because it's something they know from BSB, and that's always served them pretty well. I mean, the big difference for Davey and Hickey is they're on different tyres.
Yeah.
So Hickey loves his Dunlops and Davey's on Metzlers.
So in all this, we've been talking about hype, speed, who's here, who's not here. The one man we haven't even spoke about is Dean Harrison, who had some unbelievable speed at the Northwest. Like probably the fastest man not to win a race, which has been the case over the next few years. And he's quick out of the gate. So if we have a little bit of iffy weather,
you don't know. I mean, I love Dino anyway.
Yeah.
I love the way he goes about his racing. I love him as a person. I love the fact he doesn't get involved in any shenanigans. He gets about his business and just does it in a quiet way. But you watch him ride anyway, he is flipping super hard and committed. Like you cannot believe. Frighteningly. Honestly, it worries me a little bit. No, it don't worry me. But actually you watch him and think, oh
that's
my God, that is full in.
Right, so can we have a James Whitham top 3?
Big race.
Yeah. Superbike race first. We'll carry on walking. Superbike race first, what do you think? First Superbike race. We'll not say about the senior, so we'll say first Superbike race, and
it's going to be really, really predictable. This. It's going to be.
You're going to be like Neil Hodgson on MotoGP, picking the fastest man every weekend.
It's going to be Michael, and then I'm going to go Hickey.
Yeah.
And then Davey.
Right. So no Dean.
I think.
Is the Honda not?
It's quick enough. I just wonder whether it's. I mean, they've had stability issues at the Northwest. Didn't seem super happy with it. Made progress.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll stick to what I said. And sorry, Dean, because.
Right. So we're going MD from Pete from Davey for sure.
What's your race? And this is. Hey, listen. Emotions.
On speed, he's one of my good friends. I would say I was going to put him, especially if the weather was a little bit iffy. I was going to go Michael straight away because the weather won't bother him, the laps won't bother him, and he looks really strong. I was going to go Michael, then possibly from Dean or Pete, because Davey looks right now
like he's
mentally the most
I agree
struggling.
With you. Absolutely agree with you.
With the speed in British Championship, and we had a good chat with him in British Championship. So
can I change Dino into thing?
Yeah, and honestly, you couldn't see any different for all the races.
No.
Because they're all, apart from Super Twin, because Dean and Pete and MD and Davey Todd are all in Super Twin, and Davey Todd's on a patent Super Twin as well with Clyde Paget, so we all know how good that's going to be. Yeah. So that could be Davey's, if he's struggling with a big bike and the 600, that could be his best chance. But isn't it amazing that it's like so close? And
it's amazing that you can't call it.
Yeah.
And you feel bad for whatever call you make because you're leaving somebody who is a mate of yours by definition kind of out. So
yeah, we're trying to be factual and not I don't know what the right word was. You said emotional. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other thing I wanted to quickly jump on, I'm going to try and speak to some of them this week as well, is newcomers. We've got 2 or 3. There's quite a few newcomers, but 2 or 3 strong riders.
Yeah.
Both of them in.
2 particularly.
Yeah, Mitch Rees.
One's Mitch Rees and one is Barry Burrell.
Yeah.
Do not underestimate Barry Burrell.
I'm going to try and have a sit down with him on this channel this week, because a lot of people messaged in and said they wanted to see some Marshall chat and a newcomer or somewhere lower down the field. So I think he's the man for the job. But he's a quality rider.
Quality rider, knows how to set a bike up, still races short circuit, so there's nothing. Yeah. This isn't a man who's retired and then just having to go to the TT for a bit of an holiday. This man knows how to ride a bike still. Yeah. Very technical, will have something that's fit for purpose. And also he's mature enough to go about it the right way, and he can ride camber.
Yeah, and he's doing it for the, well, we're going to see later on in the week, but I think he's doing it for the right reasons. Completely. He really wants to come, he wants to have a go. There's no ultra ego. No. He's seen all of us, he's been around me and Dean, and seen the enjoyment that we've had out of it. So yeah, them two. So for anyone that's going to start watching this week,
and Mitch comes with a real sort of pedigree, doesn't he?
Mitch has beat both Davey Todd and Peter Hickman in a road race in New Zealand last year. So he's a quality rider. I know it's a little bit different.
I mean, you look at Costamo and he's
it's a little bit
rider,
different.
But he's not going to come here with all due respect, and be sort of Mickey.
Yeah. So I think that is pretty much it. We are in for an unbelievable week. Hopefully the weather turns for practice and the guys get more. They get more time on the bikes, because we want to see track info and we want to see cool slow-mo shots and all the rest. But yeah, I would not be betting my house on anyone. Maybe Michael.
I think Michael is sort of stand out a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't call any of the rest of it. And you feel bad for doing so, don't you?
Yeah, true. Let's see what happens. Right, so if all that sounds exciting to you, we have got a little giveaway. No, not a giveaway. We have got a discount code off the TT people. We've got a TT Live Pass on TT Plus with 20% off. So if you use code RST20TT, be quick though, because it's limited to 1313. So 1,313 can get 20% off. So go grab that now and get your discount code.
And we can't finish up any preview of a TT this year without mentioning 2 of our favourite people.
Mine or your favourite people?
Mine, certainly.
Yeah.
Who had a cracking start to their seasons, and I'm talking about Ian Hutchinson and Connor Cummins. Connor didn't have such a good Northwest, and Alton didn't end that well because he slid off. But actually, he was going really quick. Loves that BM. So does Hutchie. He went a second. They both went a second quicker than they've ever been around Alton. That bodes well. They love the bike, and Hutchie getting a podium. I cried.
Honestly, there was a lot of people emotional. So going back to Connor first, though.
Yep.
I was surprised at his Northwest, because I thought he would have went better. Sorry. But I don't know if that was because of the crash at Alton, if there was an underlying problem or anything, but I haven't had a chance to sit down and talk to him. But we've spoken about this off camera. He is the man for turning up on race day and dropping the hammer. So imagine this island if he got his first TT win. Yeah. Or imagine this island if Hutchie got back on the podium.
Yeah. Love to see it.
We nearly forgot about them too as well, didn't we?
Oh, you did.